Jason.
Hey, John. Jason here.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Really good.
Me, I'm in Sterling, Virginia, which is right by Washington, D.C.
Oh, right on. How's the weather down there?
Up and down. We had a really crazy day. It was raining and windy, and it was 60 degrees. So, kind of hot. So I'll take that.
Yeah, well, that's better than cold.
That's for damn sure. And where you are, I'm sure it's lovely and warm right now.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's getting cold. You know?
Nova Scotia, that's like Miami this time of year, right?
Yeah, it's almost like that. John Gallagher with me here from Raven. How's Raven been doing these days?
We are doing great, man. We are doing great. Got a brand new album ready, and finally got ourselves sorted out with a North American release, which is going to be March 30th, I believe.
Okay.
And the same deal for Europe. We've got it coming out in Europe March 30th. So that's something we've been, working behind the scenes for, best part of a year to get that together almost. Came out in Japan, walk through fire, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's been a long process, but things are going very well for us at the moment.
So what's the news with Metal Blade Records?
That's right, yeah. We've known Brian Slagle. We met Brian Slagle in 1982. We were playing Newcastle City Hall with Girls' School, and he was there backstage. Him and his friend were like going around Europe watching all the metal bands. So we know Brian from way back then, before he even started Metal Blade. He had a fanzine, I think, at the time. So, and we've done a couple of stuff. In fact, I think the last album was out on them. But then we ran into a little roadblock with my brother having his accident. So
Right.
it's amazing, but it's been 10 years since our last record.
And how's your brother feeling these days? 100% again?
Well, put it this way, he just came back from skiing. So that's pretty amazing from a guy that was, at the first point, they didn't know whether he would live or die. And then they were going to have to cut at least one of his legs off. And then it was, you'll never walk again. And then, he's so stubborn and such a fighter, he's basically proved them all wrong right down the line. When we played in Japan back in August last year there, he actually did the knee slide across the stage, which just freaked me out because I never thought I'd ever see him do that again.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's his legs are messed up. He moves the knee and you put your ear down there and you hear, crackles and cracks, and it's just horrible, and the scars and stuff beyond belief. But, he's doing great.
Well, that's great, man. And considering he's skiing, that means he's feeling a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's been skiing off and on for just over a year. When he first started, he went up there and he broke his leg again. We were just like, oh my God, but it was in between doing stuff, so by the time we got to do stuff again, he just had a leg brace on and he was fine. But, when you're crazy, you just stay crazy.
And then you get crazier.
That's about it.
And then you find out you're in Raven.
There you have it.
So, Walk Through the Fire, I took a listen to it on your YouTube, and let me tell you, you guys are going back to the roots in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely the best thing we've done in a long time. We just had all the ingredients were just right. We obviously, because of Mark's accident, we took a long time writing a lot of songs. So we definitely picked the best songs we had, and we came in the writing, but the recording was done relatively quickly because that's the way we work best.
Mm-hmm.
Just put us in a room and go. To the point that it was planned out, but there's always, about 30% left unplanned, and we'll make stuff up as we go along. Even the idea of doing the cover song, Space Station Number 5, that was literally done on the spur of the moment. I said, we should do a cover. What do you think? Space Station Number 5? All right, let's do that. Did it in one take. Boom. We took time. We had to do the vocals afterwards and all this, but boom, it was one take. Pretty wild. And we took a bit of time, putting a few little bits of ear candy here and there. It's very subtle. And we work with Kevin131, great engineer, great studio, great guy. And it's good because you hear it, and if you listen a little harder, you'll hear there's little bits of, keyboard or like weird effect stuff hidden around, a little bit of ear candy just to give it a bit of depth. But overall, we got the performances we wanted, which are, like unhinged and out of control and, just with enough edge on it. And the sound is really good. It's a big, full sound, and you can hear what everybody's doing. And everyone just upped their game. I mean, Mark and Joe played like really great on the record. It's just killer. And I'm happy with the stuff I did on there, and I'm singing really good on it. So, and we're still not bored with listening to it, so that's a good sign.
So how long did it take you to produce that sound quality?
Well, we were in the studio, I think we did all the basic tracks in about 5 days. We like to work quick. I mean, the only time we were in the studio for a long time was the Packers Back album, and it's not us. It's not we work best.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing something to death 40 times over. We usually go in as a band and we play, and this was unusual because I obviously had, quite often you write the lyrics up until the last minute. I had all that done. So we had a mic set up and I did scratch vocals, and we basically played it live. I redid the vocals just because we had a better microphone for that later on. But we actually played it live. And what we usually do is we'll play, and if we kind of screw up or it falls apart, if it's got good feel, we'll just say, okay, rewind, and we'll play along and just pop us in and we'll finish it off. So it's, you get that thing of it being played kind of the first time rather than, let's take 49, and by the time you've got it down perfect, it sounds boring. You're not putting the energy in, but it hasn't got that edge of, will we play it right or will we fall the pieces type of deal. We're not the type of band that goes in and plays along with a click track one at a time. It just doesn't work for our kind of music. It's based on interaction and the feeling between the instruments. We may speed up a little bit and slow it down, but that's natural. Music should do that. It shouldn't be, click, 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 click all the way through.
How long did it take you to record, let's say, All for One compared to today's album you got right now?
Well, it was kind of similar. I mean, because when we did the basic tracks, like I say, in about 5 days, and then we came back and did like about 3 days worth of guitars, which was, like doubling rhythms and doing solos and doing, little bits of extra odds and ends. And that had some of the basic tracks put on the CD, and I took them home, and I've got a little digital studio, and I did a lot of keyboard odds and ends, and the introduction has some violin on it, and I really didn't want to torture everyone with me playing violin, so I played a bit of violin in the house and brought it in, and since it's digital, we could just fly it in, which was great. So all told, recording about 15 to 18 days, which is, a little bit longer on recording than we did for All for One. All for One, I think we did the whole thing in about just under 3 weeks. It was definitely, 18-hour days, a lot of pressure, but that worked out great. Of course, all the pressure was on Michael Wagner. We were just having a good time.
Yes.
This one, it was all on us. But, we did that, and it worked out. I mean, there was a lot of time done in the mixing because I just let Kevin do a mix. So I had fresh ears, and then he would send me like wave files over the internet and see, well, what do you think of this? And well, tweak this. And then when we were getting closer to come in, and we'd finish them up. And then we sat with it a while, and then we did the mastering, and we tweaked the mastering again. We did that twice. We had the luxury of being able to do something and sit for, maybe a week or two, and then come back to it with fresh ears. And I don't think we've ever had that luxury before. It's always been, get in, you've got 3 weeks, go, and by the time it's done, that's it. There's no time or money or anything to do anything else, you're stuck with it. This was a much better way of working.
Was the album done Pro Tools or analog, Walk Through the Fire?
This is the first time we've done Pro Tools.
Oh, okay.
Which was, it's great. I mean, I can see how people can abuse it, and Kevin was telling us stories of how there's a lot of these young guys who come in with the death metal bands, and the kick drums are not as strong as they should be, and he just sits there and he moves the beats around to make it absolutely perfect. Then the poor guy has to learn to play perfect later, which is kind of difficult to match up to that. And because of the way we play, a lot of the tricks you could do with Pro Tools we can't do because we don't want to play it with click track. It kills the feel.
Right.
And once you've got it on a click track, you've basically got like a set grid where you can cut pieces and move them around and that. But as far as the opportunity to have endless tracks and let's try another solo, let's try this part, you know, there's no restrictions, which, you know, in some ways could be a nightmare. You could have so many options. It's you know, you'd never get anything finished. But with a bit of discipline, I think it's wonderful. And he really, you know, has it down in that just a great sound. We've got past the point of digital sounding kind of crappy. I mean, the old 2-inch tape is still probably the best way to go for at least getting your initial drum sounds down, but they've got it incredibly close now where you can just about, you know, it'd be very difficult to tell one from the other with some of the plugins and some of the techniques they use. But I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I've got, like, you know, obviously a much smaller system in the house, but just, you know, the way you can, for writing purpose, put stuff up and move it around, it's really cool. We were stuck with one song where it needed a guitar part, and Mark had played some extra solos, and we just cut one out there and stuck a bit of it in, you know, 5 seconds on another song. It worked perfectly because he wasn't there at the time. He goes, "What do you think of this?" He goes, "I don't remember doing that." "You did on another song."
John, you recording with your classic equipment still, or is it totally new equipment now? Is that part of this tone?
I've upgraded a little bit of it. Still, I used different basses on the record. I used a couple of old, they're actually Ibanez, or what's called Greco from Japan, Thunderbirds, which really love Thunderbirds. I had a lot of fun with them. I used them a bunch. I used a Hamer 12-string bass on a couple of songs. I've got a deal now with October Guitars out of Savage, Maryland, down here, and they're building me some new stuff. But I had a 12-string from them I used on the song Bulldozer, which was pretty cool. And I used the old Red Explorer with Trem. Used that on 1 or 2 songs, and used the 7-string Conklin bass, which I've actually got rid of now, but that was a pretty decent sounding bass. I used that on a couple of songs, so stuff with a low B on it. And that was through a Sans amp preamp that I've got, which is pretty cool because it gives you the distortion, but it gives you the low end as well. And my old Boss pedal board for all these silly noises. Mark was using pretty much what he's been using for a while now. It's a Mesa Boogie preamp and his Hamer guitars. We did have a Valino, one of those all aluminum guitars, which we used for the clean parts on Long Day's Journey, which is a really cool sounding guitar. Used that for that, and yeah, basically just used these couple of Hamers that he's got.
Is this basically the same old collection from the old days also? Like some of your bass equipment?
Well, no, I mean, back in the old days, I mean, the first couple of albums, Mark was using a Fender Telecaster, and then by All For One, he was using an ESP Telecaster.
Okay.
Which, he's still got the Fender hidden away, but the ESP one got stolen. The guys from October are making him a replica of that. That's the one that was all black with the red flash on the back. He's getting a replica of that. He's been using the Hamers for about 10 years now. It's pretty beat up, one of them. He's still got a couple of the old ESPs. But that's the way of the world with us. A guitar doesn't look new very long when it's been on the road with us. We like throwing them around too much. We've got to be tough to survive.
Do you recall much back in the day, 1983, when you were the headliner to Metallica and stuff like that? How good were the tours back then?
Oh, that was fun. We've actually got some video from that show. You've seen the Clifton Mall thing where Kirk gets his guitar pulled into the audience.
Correct, yeah.
We've actually got that was Chicago. We've actually got video of the whole thing of that, which going to bring out on DVD one of these days if we get through all the clearances. It'll be fun. But I mean, that was insane, that tour. I mean, there was 17 people in a 6-berth Winnebago. So half the time we just spent the time in the back of the truck. It was just retardedly crazy. It was a really hot summer, and there's us, 3 kids come over from Newcastle, England, never seen heat like this, and we were just, it was like a bunch of pirates out on the road. We got on great with the Metallica boys, and it was pretty groundbreaking. I think we played a lot of places that I'd never seen a heavy metal show before, like our style of heavy metal anyway. And probably started a whole bunch of people thinking, maybe we can do this. From what I heard, it started up at least really inspired the Pantera guys, which is pretty cool. And, we just had a situation where for those years right through, I mean, because of politics, we really only opened for maybe 2 decent-sized bands. We opened for Judas Priest for like 5 or 6 shows. And then we opened for Wasp. And it was due to politics because we signed with one agent and not with the other, so the other agent didn't give us an opportunity to play with a lot of metal bands, so we just ended up doing our own tours over and over again, My own direction.
Well, that's awesome stuff and awesome stories. You get much video that you don't have yet that you're going to be releasing on DVD?
Yeah, this is something Mark's been working on until his computer died. We did an album a couple of years back called Raw Tracks, so we kind of had an idea of doing a DVD equivalent with a lot of raw video stuff. I mean, we've got video from like recording sessions from like Nothing Exceeds Like Excess, from Everything Louder, from the album we did with last one with Michael Wagner, One for All. We've got a lot of video outtake stuff from 91 when we did the electroshock therapy video. We got a lot of stuff from then. We have all the outtake stuff from the Ultimate Revenge 2 show, which was pretty cool. We got that. And we have a lot of, obviously, fan shot stuff here, there, and everywhere. We got a lot of stuff when Mark finally, was able to play a couple of shows with us when he was in the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. We got all backstage and some of the show stuff from that, which is pretty wild. Got the first rehearsal when he came back, which is pretty emotional. And we got a bunch of video from the Bang Your Head Festival in Germany from a couple of years back, which is cool. So and Japan, when we went to Japan last year, we had a couple of cameras worth of stuff on that, which was pretty just amazing. We've never seen audiences like that. That was just crazy. I mean, me and Mark would just turn and look at each other. We'd be playing a song like the Run Silent, Run Deep part, where it has those octave guitar parts, very similar, and the audience is singing along. We're like, oh my god. I've seen people do that with some of the German bands, but this was in Japan, and everyone was just crazy. So it was pretty awesome. And after being like out of the picture really for so long, and getting to see that kind of reaction and getting the great reaction from the new songs, it's definitely it gives you a good kick up the ass.
Everybody should go to ravenlunatics.com.
Definitely, yeah. Check that out.
Awesome
and check
website.
out our MySpace page as well. It's got a whole bunch of photos, and you can listen to couple of the new tunes. We're trying to get some dates together for later in the year. We're doing a bunch of European festivals, but when we come back, like September, October, I know they're looking. It's not too close to where you are, but I know we're trying to get at least Toronto. Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to do a few shows, like some in the Northeast, some around the Cleveland, Chicago, Toronto area, and then maybe the Northwest, and maybe Texas, and then some stuff down in California. But we're trying to get out and about. It's been too long,
Well, the time is here again for Raven.
That's it, man. But to everyone out there, thank you for your support. Check out the record. I think you'll like it.